On the same day that the Electoral College has now certified the election results in favor of Joe Biden as the winner, there was all this controversy about Joe Biden's wife, specifically because of an op-ed written in the Wall Street Journal. It's titled, "Is there a doctor in the White House? Not if you need an MD. Joe Biden should think about dropping the honorific, which feels fraudulent, even comic," by Joseph Epstein. The first sentence drew a lot of ire. It goes like this: Madam First Lady Mrs. Biden Jill Kiddo. A bit of advice on what may seem like a small, but I think is not an unimportant matter. Any chance you might drop the doctor before your name? Dr. Joe Biden sounds and feels fraudulent, not to say a touch comic. Your degree is, I believe, an EDD, a Doctor of Education earned at the University of Delaware through her dissertation with the unpromising title, Student Retention at the Community College Level, Meeting Students' Needs. A wise man once said that no one should call himself doctor unless he has delivered a child. Think about it, Dr. Jill, and forthwith, drop the doc. Not surprisingly, that set off a firestorm on Twitter. Michael LaRosa, who is the spokesperson for Jill Biden, and he writes specifically to the editorial features editor here for the Wall Street Journal op-ed pages that you and the Wall Street Journal should be embarrassed to print the disgusting and sexist attack on Dr. Biden running on the Wall Street Journal opinion page. If you had any respect for women at all, you would remove this repugnant display of chauvinism from your paper and apologize to her. The first thing I was going to say is that I'm not really quite sure what I was supposed to take away from this article. Why somebody would spend even a small sliver of their time on this particular issue during a pandemic with mass unemployment, an election, for instance, that's been completely divisive. Like, there are a lot of topics out there that deserve space in the Wall Street Journal. Why this is in the op-ed section? You know what? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of this one. And I think it's kind of a dumb topic. That said, I do think that the ire and the hysteria that ensued reflects something I've discussed on this channel, which is kind of this disconnect between the average American and what they're talking about, and then what I'm going to call sort of the ruling elite and what's bothering them, and these ideological tennis matches that they're having on social media while millions of Americans are unemployed and don't know how they're going to pay rent or their mortgage next month. For instance, take a look at this clip from MSNBC.
Dr. Kissinger served as National Security Advisor.
Did he deliver babies?
He must be so
Dr. Kissinger's an OB? Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that side of Dr. Kissinger.
Earlier this year, the Wall Street Journal quoted a conversation the president-elect had with my father when Biden was in the Senate. Quote, Doctor, we should have you here more often. I appreciate you taking the time. We have two distinguished panelists to follow. We're going to recess to go for vote again. Dr. Brzezinski. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I always learn something when you're here. Dr. Brzezinski. No one there seemed to have a problem with that.
Isn't it? Wait, hold on. So Dr. Brzezinski, they got no problem with that. Dr. Kissinger, they got no problem with that.
No.
But Dr. Biden, let's see how are they different? Let me hold on. You keep going, Mika. I'm going to think about this.
She cares about community college students getting to where they want to go in life. She's a woman,
actually.
Okay.
So the average MSNBC viewer probably took away from that what the hosts wanted them to get, which is that Dr. Jill Biden is being snubbed the doctor title because she's a woman, whereas Henry Kissinger, or this host's father, were not, because they're guys. What I took away from it, however, is that this host's father is recognized by Joe Biden, quoted in the Wall Street Journal, and now she is the host at MSNBC. And basically, they're all running in the same circles and are angry about a degree that the average American is never going to have the chance to get. And I think this is why people are at the point with the media, for instance, and politicians, and frankly, even academics, because you may have heard that a lot of PhDs and EDDs were changing the name of their Twitter handle to have doctor before their name in solidarity with this. And I'm just thinking about, like, my husband, for instance, who joined the Marine Corps because he couldn't afford to go to college, and how many people are like that and like are watching this ideologue tennis match happening among people who they're like feeling completely disconnected with, and are just frankly like not just confused by, but probably disgusted by. It just to me, it reeked of, somebody called it class signaling, and that's what I saw in a lot of this. And, you know, as a woman who has had a lot of privilege in her life, I was raised by 2 medical doctors who paid cash for me to go to college, so I would have no student debt, and I got a full ride to graduate school, and my parents paid for my housing, and they paid for my housing when I got an internship in television news over my summer breaks. And so when I got my first crappy job in television news that paid $18,500 before taxes, I could still afford to do it because my parents helped me out. And then I look at my husband, who's a dude, who still hasn't had the chance to go to college, has basically, to put it nicely, been screwed by the Department of Veterans Affairs, which we can talk about in another video. But I think about people like him who are watching this, and like, you know, you talk to folks about, you know, just the hysteria around this stuff, and they're like, I'm just trying to put food on the table, and I don't know if I'm going to keep my job. And I don't know. I found this to be kind of a representation of why people feel so disconnected now, because of these arguments over things like whether you call yourself doctor before your name, which just the vast majority of Americans, I cannot even imagine if this is something that they're regularly talking about over the dinner table. So I'm going to leave it there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just a quick video on this. I found it interesting. I almost didn't do this video. Like I said, I almost didn't do this video because I don't even want to add to the hysteria. I actually want to tone it down a little bit and bring down the temperature on this topic. I'm a woman, so I'm going to talk about it. I have a master's degree. I don't have a PhD or an EDD. Hey, they're hard to get, okay? It's not easy. It's not a cakewalk to get a doctorate degree. It's not the same as an MD in training. Obviously, that's just a fact. But should you be able to call yourself doctor? I really don't care. Like, that's kind of the point of my video. It's like, I just don't understand why this was even like an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, why this guy felt the need to write about it. And then I also just don't understand why it captivated the social media ire for as long as it did. I just think we should let it go and stop arguing about this. All right? But let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.